Okay, everyone, welcome to the live podcast recording for Turnip and Stone. Round of applause. Woo! Thank you for being here on this very apocalyptic day. We're going to get started right now with our co-host. So please help me welcome to the stage our host and our special guest, Eric Emerson, Steve Rains, and special guest, Mark McPartland. Woo!
I got myself quite a knot here.
Yeah, you've got an absolute...
I'll tell you what.
I do not remember that from my Cub Scout handbook.
This is like a Tim Heidecker bit right now.
Yeah, this might take the
Dude,
jaws
if this
of
takes
life.
any longer, I'm going to turn the other way holding a big ladder and hit you in the side of the head.
Okay.
Woo! And just like that, the live advice podcast, Turnip and Stone, has begun.
Yeah.
Guys, give it up for Harry hosting.
Yeah.
Producing. So the theme of the podcast is that we answer questions. We're all comics, and we try and give funny advice based on people's questions that they submit. So we got some coming in, but before we get into that, does anybody have anything they want to get into?
Oh.
How's the day been in McPartland?
It's been good. As I was saying, I woke up today as I'm here, and there was a good fog out, so I was like, I'm going for a nice run in this good cooling fog. And then I went out there, and then I was running a little bit, and I was like, man, I must be, my conditioning is very bad because it feels like I have black lung, like a chimney sweep from Victorian times. And then I got home, and I checked my weather app, and it just said, do not go outside. It was like a Walking Dead notice from the weather.com app. And I was like, damn.
That was the one thing they said. They said, do not exercise outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Steve told me that after I moved into a new apartment. Like just up and down stairs, heavy boxes, coughing and wheezing.
Is it smoke? Or is it just incense? Maybe it's just incense from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
It might be Canadian incense. There's a very real possibility that they're up there trying to just a Yankee Candle caught on fire up there or something. Something terrible.
What would the Yankee Candle scent be for apocalyptic forest fire that chokes a nation?
I didn't know until this that they were still having wildfires up there. That's how off the radar Canadian news is to me. It's only when it blows into East Lakeview that I'm like, damn, they're struggling up there.
Yeah, the news literally blew in from Canada.
It sounds fishy, Mark. I think that it might be fake.
There was a guy on the bus. Actually, I was waiting for the bus to come over here, and there was a guy that just walked by everyone at the bus stop and just went like, I'm just saying there wasn't pollution before coronavirus. That's all I'm saying. And then he left. Like, I'm not trying to cause too much of a ruckus. I'm just passing the word. He was really doing a...
You think Big Mask is behind it?
I think
they send somebody up there with a tinderbox?
I think 3M right now has got a bunch of guys burning rubber tires up there in Alberta trying to get us all to break it back out the N95s. That's what I think's going on.
You know what 3M stands for? Moderna.
What's crazy is I still know nothing about the wildfires up there. The news has been that this is the second major city to be massively negatively affected by them, and I still don't know where they are, what the damage is.
No idea where they are. What I thought when it went away in New York, I was assuming, they must have thrown enough Mounties must have made a line to throw water on it that they stopped it. I didn't know we just stopped caring about it just because it stopped hitting us. I didn't know that it was just the second that thing blew right over the Vermont border, we were just like, we're done with Canada news until Justin Bieber drops another album.
I haven't even been able to establish if the fires are still happening or if it's old smoke.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I thought maybe it's a week old. It's just coming our way, but I don't even know.
What killed the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
It does look like, because New York got some nice pristine orange smoke, and we're getting kind of crummy bottom of the barrel smoke out there. This might be some leftover smoke.
Run back nice pristine orange smoke.
And they were doing like all your New York friends were posting like, it looks like the apocalypse out here, and it was like sunny, and it looked like it had like the sky from Apocalypse Now. And then I come outside, and it's just a little dirty, greasy thing. I'm like, this isn't going to make a cool Instagram photo at all. I'm very concerned about my Instagram square more than I am about people's health.
I said this before, but I think I have a theory that you can gauge how hot a girl is by whether or not they address the smoke in their New York, I took a trip to New York post.
I
saw at least 3 people at the top of the Empire. It just looks like Blade Runner behind them. And they were just like, sushi's so good here in the Big Apple.
They've just been going from bottle service club to bottle service club that they have no idea. Absolutely, the asteroid could be coming down on One World Trade Center, and it would never register to them.
Doesn't matter if the sun's blotted out if you're always in a blackout.
Yeah, truly. When the Uber X has tints, you really don't care what the weather outside is.
Waiting for the Uber X to like take you out of. What was the day after tomorrow? Was the the Statue of Liberty's head is floating by, and you're like, where is he?
Where is he going? We're looking for.
Fuck is he?
It says he's in the East River, frozen. All right, we're gonna have to call the helicopter service. I promised I wouldn't do
your
it.
Uber map just shows the SUV tumbling away in a tsunami.
If it's day after tomorrow, it just shows those like Arctic wolves going after your guy. It's like he's not getting a tip if he can't outrun the wolves.
You're trying to give him left. Oh, they got him.
I'm at Cat's Deli. This guy, I can't do it.
It's rerouted. It keeps rerouting him around the wolves. Yeah, the apocalypse is good. Steve, what's going on in your world?
Not a whole lot. Today, moved some stuff around. Stayed indoors today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I said I'm going to close it up. I saw the warning.
Saw the warning.
I tuned into AM radio. That's the first thing I do. I tune into AM radio.
You check all the government still run things where there's an alert from staying.
Yeah, it's like you tune into an emergency thing. It's like today in Chicago, Illinois, it's going to be 45 degrees.
Yeah, I'm
due north, the wind due north.
You have like one of those like disaster movies. You got like a ham radio. You have to go up and get the bunny ears to go to tune in and tell you Chicago's under attack.
Steve does kind of have the vibe of guy who wakes up on cot in basement and like single fluorescent light and then just starts putting the big the
also
cans
look
on.
like you
That's all funny. I actually get all the information from my medicine man. So.
It looks like seems like you go and you check like a signal that you sent out to Jupiter a while ago, and you're like, still nothing, and then you put it back down. You're just waiting for that one day that they call back.
Just like the rest of the world, it's like fires continue to ravage Canada, and he goes, yet again, no news, nothing on the radio.
Well,
how about Harry?
Me, I'm happy about the smoke because they said New York going outside was like smoking 6 cigarettes. So I don't have to spend money on cigarettes anymore. I just go out for a jog.
It's the coolest I've ever been. It's just standing outside breathing in Chicago.
No, this is frugal for me.
Yeah.
It's thrifty.
I should have a leather jacket, greased back hair, just go outside and breathe deeply.
Yeah, you just make the V with your fingers, but there's no cigarette in it. You're just
holding up a lighter to just the...
You've just got a straw.
Straw is funny. Anybody got questions before we start?
Let's see.
Before we get into the submitted ones, you got anything going on in life you want to pose to the group?
Questions. I went on a date with a Russian girl who has not been messaging me back, and I want to say that she might have defected to the Wagner group, and I don't know how to ask. I don't know how to be like, is this because of something I said, or is this because you're somewhere deep entrenched on the outskirts of Moscow right now, trying to funnel through to the interior of the city?
I was a little confused that every time she called me, it was from a different unknown number. But I just thought that was a quirky detail.
Yeah, I thought she wanted to do a cute arts and crafts thing where we're making Molotov cocktails, and now I realize she's kind of left with all of them that we made.
Steve, can I borrow your ham radio? I've lost contact with Rakslana again. She's gone dark on me.
Well, Mark, just make sure not to double text her because she might think you're a nag.
She might.
A little real advice.
I'm just trying to put in my 2 cents.
That's true. That is something to take home to the bank.
How many people you think die in the trenches because their phone goes off? It's like, hey, sorry, not trying to bother you. I'm just at the coffee shop already.
There's a convoy right now that just got hit with like a homemade aerial thing just because I sent her just like, this reminds me of us or whatever kind of thing that made her phone go off. I haven't actually sent that, but I'm thinking about it after this.
Thinking of you.
Actually, I've seen all of like the smoke and stuff coming over Chicago. I want to send her a thing of like thinking of your hometown or whatever.
I get it.
Yeah, this is rough. I do understand your.
We're also being dogged by a foreign power.
Yeah.
Canada.
Here we suffer too.
She has a fun story of how she got to this country,
Yeah.
how she came on these shores. Because first, the timeline didn't add up. She got here in like 2021, and I was wearing a wire the whole date. I was like, I might have to pass on the dossier to the Biden administration, tell them we got a live one hanging out here in the loop, and she won a she apparently to submit to the green card lottery. Like, I thought that was like a big thing where you had to send them like 3 recommendations and tell them like your skills or whatever. Like, you just basically, it's online and you just like send your name and your address. So she did it like almost as like a, you know how like you send stuff out to Indeed?
Yeah.
Like she did, like she was in Russia, she was like, I'll apply for a green card. And then she checked it 3 years later and then she apparently won. So all she has to do is she has to stay in the country for 2 years and then she gets American citizenship. And I was thinking, you know, what are you going to spend that time with those 2 years on? Maybe you want to go to the Garfield Park Conservatory or something like that. Apparently, that's not how she wants to spend her time in the States. She's probably...
She doesn't want to see the communist artwork in the Logan Square Art Festival to remind her of her home country?
I thought it would have been nice. But actually, now that I think about it, that story might not add up. You know what
So
I mean?
I'm confused.
That seems like it was almost perfectly recited when she told it to me. I was like, how did you get here? And then it was basically, it was like in Reservoir Dogs where that guy pre-learned the speech for the police. She was just giving me her story. I don't buy that one bit. And she said she was from the oldest town in Russia. Googled it. Not true. Not true.
I'm from the oldest town in Russia, Africa.
Mark's counterintelligence.
Immediately when I checked one thing into her story, the whole thing crumbled apart.
Mark's just rubbing his chin, looking at Wikipedia, and then just calling the NSA. I
He's got
checked it. It doesn't add up.
He's got a storage locker with a bulletin board in it.
She's just secretly, as she's going to like, she's going to like grab something at like the art festival. Where I'm secretly put like one of those like thumb printer things on her. Like, let me see.
She's not calling me back because I have her locked up, tied to a radiator. I just go into the closet every day and I go, "Are you going to tell me who you're working for?" No? All right.
I think the real green card lottery is which guy on Tinder proposes to you.
Truly.
That's how you throw your hat in the ring.
It does seem like they should be using that more as a spy technique because until you said something, I just assumed no guy would ever question the backstory of somebody they met on Tinder.
Yeah, but trust me, I do my research. The second she's, trying to spin lies.
Mark goes, I got burned once before when Crimea fell. And after that, I really had to start fact-checking my Tinders.
Mark's in her backyard with a ski mask and binoculars being like, it's called research.
I'm allowed to do this. I have diplomatic immunity.
I'm a patriot, goddammit.
I mean, also the fun thing was, and this is all, by the way, if she texts me back, we have to delete all of this. We have to throw the phone. But it's good is that she didn't have like an accent. I thought it was going to be like a I was honestly banking on it. I thought it was going to be fun. She was going to show me how to make like bread in a hole and I was going to show her the world. But she didn't have an accent because she taught English, but the thing is it was still her second language, so she would just forget like basic words, but it would be like I'm talking to you. And then so she would be like, yeah, it's a good thing. It's like I love the weather. It's really beautiful down here and I really like to go down to the Chicago the flow of water that intersects. I was like, the river? And she's like, just that. And now that I think about it, she might have just been a not smart person that was using an elaborate ruse.
Yeah, is she a genius who speaks 3 languages?
No, she apparently only speaks 2. Well, she's a genius. If she was a genius, she would text me back 919-609-5438. Before she rudely got rid of me, she didn't know I was coming up as third mic on a podcast, all right?
Wait, are you telling me we could have moved 3 tickets? And you fucked me like this? Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, how did the date go?
It went good. You know my move. I like going to art festivals because they're free and you can walk around. I drink coffee. And then she said, I'm getting really sunburnt. And then she bought some rings. And then she went to go see her friend, which now that I think about it was probably her informant. She said I had to go meet a friend at 3. She probably had to go to a drop site to pass them information along.
Yeah.
But it was I thought it went very nice and stuff.
Yeah. And how's the communication been afterwards? What was the last message?
The last message was her being like, I'll be there at 1. And then
Her last message was smoke coming out of a cathedral at 12 p.m.
and I said, "Are you doing anything this weekend?" And that was 3 days ago. And so now I'm being like, well, the thing is that the satellites get intercepted because of the smoke. It goes into the ionosphere. The text message doesn't come through. But I've been rudely shunned.
Yeah.
And I can't wait, because now the second if she opens up the line of communication again, I'll be like, bitch, there's a town in the Black Sea in Russia that's as old as shit. It's old as 800 BC. They might be trying to silence me from critiquing the Kremlin.
Give it up for Harry on the ones and twos, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry for just looking over at you. Vamp, Mark.
So anyway, she was informing for the United States.
I'm saying since the thing happened with the Wagner Group, I haven't heard from her. Much like that guy on the bus was like coronavirus and pollution, I'm just asking questions.
It's a matter of time till Mark is in like a multicam jacket and a flak vest, just yelling into a grainy Android camera like, I paid for 2 cups of coffee. And my demands have gone unanswered. I will march on your apartment.
I'm starting to realize that Russian stability might be the only thing that's going to make this relationship last. So I might have to go over there and just dive Tom Cruise style out of a plane and see if I can help those guys out, see if I can use my expertise.
Would you send her a message on the podcast to see if she responds while we're live?
I hate to say I have already double texted her, which I should have gotten to you sooner, Harry. I can't do the double text again.
Yeah.
But I could.
Pride demands. Patriotism demands that she text you back first.
Could do the group photo and be like, we're thinking about you.
Oh, well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thanks, buddy. I'll keep the Patreon members posted on this and see how it goes.
Steve, you got any questions before we?
I got a lot of questions about life. No, I don't know. So what? She's just ghosted? She stopped?
She's fully ghosted. She's Russianed off me. She's fully gone underground. She's FSB.
She could be in Tampa Bay living another identity as we speak right now.
It was probably because she probably saw me asking too many astute questions where I was like, wait a minute. The entire Russian state takes up like the Ottoman Empire. You'd think there would be towns there that would be older than your hometown. And then next thing you know, she's gone. I didn't actually ask that question, but I keep harkening back to her lie that she told me about her town being the oldest town in Russia.
My town, oldest town in Russia.
My town, oldest town in Russia.
I take you there one day. Covertly.
She was saying that like the town is famous because they have like medieval walls, and that's like the big Russian attraction. Everyone goes to see the medieval walls, and you're gonna need them now, bitch. You're gonna need them. You better hope the fucking Wagner Group doesn't have a trebuchet or whatever.
Wouldn't it be funny if that's what turned the Wagner Group around?
Yeah, is that they
hit
hit
the walls? They hit the walls, and like, God damn it, we forgot about the medieval walls.
God, does someone have a large? Oh no, they've got boiling tar up there. We don't have our flap jackets can't handle this.
Boy, did we undercalculate. We did not consider this.
She did tell me a cool thing, which is that all the towns in Russia, fun fact, have they all have a birthday. So it's like a town event where you celebrate your town's birthday. And I looked up our hometown's birthday, and it is disputed. So we get to have, divorced parents get to have 2 Christmases.
We get to do double.
To have two-town birthdays.
I here established this town on October of 1864.
Exactly.
On the 4th day of May.
Mark and I are both from Cary, North Carolina.
Yes.
Do you remember when the dates were?
No, but I looked up. The guy that it's named after, I think, might have done some questionable stuff.
God damn it. You can't Wikipedia a town. Mark.
It was the 1800s. Everybody was doing questionable stuff.
Everyone was doing, because I was like, when things were going around and they were changing names, I was like, I wonder who Cary, North Carolina is named after. And there is some eye-raising stuff. And if you'll allow me the
Cary
option.
Grant.
Yucks. Just looking at his picture, you got some bad feelings. Well, first of all, we forgot to do a land acknowledgement. It was the land of they don't even know. It was the land of the Tuscarora and the Catawba people. So this town
It's always been disputed.
It's always been disputed. This town cannot bring people together. God, I am so sorry for you people. I think they're trying to remove Samuel Fenton Cary. Oh, he was the guy that. Actually, this is questionable for me. He was the guy that started the temperance movement in America. So he was he was the one that got the 19th Amendment, but whatever that ban. Not the 19th Amendment. That was the one that gave women the right to vote, right? I can't. That would be terrible if I was like, this guy was an asshole. He gave women the right to vote.
It's contentious.
Yeah.
It was so he was the one. He was like against drinking and
He was against, he was against drinking, and he looks like Ron White, the comedian, which is funny. And he had,
why he got on ayahuasca?
he.
A comedy podcast. All right.
This isn't funny, but his wife died of consumption, and I think that's nothing funny about that. That's
What
just
is
fun.
consumption? Is that just alcohol?
That might.
Like, what does it mean when you die of consumption?
I think consumption was a disease.
Yeah, I
it would
think
be funny if it was she died of consuming too much.
Yeah, that's what I
and then
literally-
he founded the temperance movement to try and get people to stop consuming so much.
Yeah.
How did she pass away? She just wouldn't stop consuming.
She wouldn't stop consuming. We
She
said I tried to
blew
cut,
up.
I tried to cut her off, but she blew up like Violet and Willy Wonka. She just became so big and she popped. But
What
no,
was she eating? Everything.
Everything, dude.
You know, Kellogg's was founded by a guy who was part of the temperance movement, I think.
Really?
And because I think the reason, or the original Kellogg cereal is so bland, is because it was supposed to help you not masturbate.
I've heard about that. That's actually a true thing. Never worked for me, dude. I had 2 bowls of Kellogg's. I got enough energy to make this a day. Sorry, Mom. I'm going to be reading the funnies upstairs.
Yeah, he didn't realize.
Then they came out with Frosted Flakes and undid all that war.
It was way too
The
suggestive, too.
cummiest cereal.
Sorry, Mom, but the Amazon that Prince Valiant is fighting in today's Sunday Funnies is a little revealing. I'm going to be taking my cereal to go.
Sorry, Mom. Hagar's not the only one doing something horrible in this house today. I got to be going. You know what a fun...
After a few bowls of Kellogg's Flakes, Kathy starts to look real appealing.
I need to go snap, crackle, and pop a load.
Oh, what's the most erotic cereal?
Count
You
Chocula.
would think it would be... Count Chocula might be.
I don't know why that's the big black dick porn of is Count Chocula.
Count Cocula.
Count Cocula.
Mark, what cereal gets you going the most?
It might be Captain Crunch. Oops, all berries. Being bad.
Ooh.
Oops, all
You
berries.
can tell Steve's a cuck, Count Chocula. Mark's a sadist because he's eating essentially razor blades.
It's just, it destroys your mouth.
No,
Hey,
I think
hello.
I think
I
honey,
think it's got to be Lucky
Howdy.
Charms because he's always trying to hide them, and I like secrets.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios would be...
That's an erotic
nuts.
cereal.
I might
Yeah.
do Honey Smacks.
Mhm.
Honey
Honey
Smacks.
Smacks might be the
Mhm.
sexiest cereal.
Oh.
Sounds like a spank. There's that frog.
Sweet spank. Yeah.
Actually, if you
frog
picture the
said.
Honey Smacks frog, I might have to put you under a spotlight on this one. The one that just looks like a boy wearing like a red cap or something like that.
He looks like 2 things you can't fuck. A boy and a frog.
Mark will defend frogs, but he doesn't think women should vote.
It's riveted for your pleasure.
Riveted for your brother?
Guys, come on.
Oh, man. I hope the
For that.
camera's on. That's good stuff.
No, I just doing it for the name. Honey and Smacks sounds. I don't know. What's the one with the? They were just like the little tan corn ovals, but they were covered in
Pops.
sugar.
Man, you're...
Sugar Pops.
Oh.
Sugar Pops.
Sugar Pops and Honey Smacks both sound like a nickname for a girl and then a kinky sex thing.
They do. They do sound like the names of Joe Biden's friends. Sugar Pop and Honey Smack. People I would hang...
Hanging out.
Come
There,
here, Sugar
thanks.
Pop.
Sugar Pop and Honey
Yeah,
Smacks, they're
Brett
the ones...
Kavanaugh's co-defendants, Sugar Pop and Squeegee.
Oh man, you got any questions?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I meant to say originally
That would
not
destroy your mouth.
I had a bowl before we got here.
of
Really?
Cinnamon
Yeah,
Toast
yeah.
Crunch.
That's
You're running
way,
on rocket fuel.
way
Yeah.
earlier than usual too. Way ahead of schedule. That's usually
Do you have a nightly bowl of cinnamon toast, a little
It's-
nightcap with Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
It's
normally?
usually after 10, 11 o'clock. I like to settle down to a nice bowl of cinnamon Toast
Delicious
Crunch.
Toast Crunch.
Are you eating it? Are you eating it silently in your kitchen, or are you eating it like with something on the TV?
I eat it butt naked, fully tucked.
like Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Just, would you fuck me? I'd fuck me while just crunching
Yeah.
into
You
some.
remember the little you remember the little boxes of cereal you get as a kid?
Yeah.
Like that you would cut open, you could eat it from inside.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
pour the milk right in the fucking box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Steve with a tiny box on his massive penis.
Steve
No.
naked with milk on his dick,
I actually-
screaming at Jupiter. Answer!
wife-
Answer!
I can.
turns on the light.
I'm picturing your wife saying that she's like, I could go run errands at Home Goods, and then the second her car skirts out, you're just running to the breakfast cabinet and just being like, yes. Oh, God.
I can actually eat it. I can concave my chest and eat it out of my chest. Like, have you ever seen that guy?
Yeah, I've seen
That's
that.
a real thing. He can like concave his chest and eat cereal out of it.
Who can do that?
I have come
A guy
across this guy.
can do it.
Just a guy.
There's a guy, a gentleman that can concave his chest
Yeah.
and fill it with
I
cereal.
do like that the internet is kind of bringing back like early 1900s Ringling Brothers type entertainers.
That's
'Cause I
never-
have seen that guy before.
That's
I-
never gone anywhere, dude.
I had
Guinness
a
Book of World
girlfriend
Records.
with a concavity, and you could do shots out of her chest hole. The downer was it was not me doing shots out of her chest hole.
Also, I think you're supposed to be able to do that regardless of the. Isn't there body shots are already a thing without having
but no
a Superman punch
no
in the
glass.
chest? No, yes,
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you had the choice between glass and
That's
Chest
true. I mean,
cavity.
it's just saving a trip to the dishwasher. It's not a great superpower.
she goes body shots and was like, "Whoa, oh God!" It looks like an asteroid hit you. A guy on my swim team had it, and he was great at butterfly.
Yeah, I bet there might be some sort of error that just, in the water kind
Yeah,
of
he
thing
can
about
get some
that.
up. I don't know. Maybe he's holding like a bubble down there when he goes under.
There's probably something.
Do the math.
Could have been performance-enhancing drugs. You went to, which pool did you go to?
Scottish Hills.
Oh, we're blood. I can't believe that two guys, one that went to Scottish Hill and one that went to Cary Swim Club, could sit here shoulder to shoulder and be friends.
This might be what heals the town.
This might be when we finally get over the fact that we're going to settle on what the original founding date was. We're going to finally get the town
I
together.
reckon that this town was founded on May 4th of
I do.
1872.
You did the same date.
That was
Well,
good.
that's nonsense.
Do you know that the mayor of our town has like a day job? Did you know that? I looked it up. He works at SAS. He works at the biggest company in town. And I was like, well, he's got to be like the head of the company, right? Like he's got to be the guy that makes the decisions. He's an amateur. He's like a mid-level computer debugger programmer kind of guy. I was like, so like he's
Dude, you know what
he's
would
basically
be-
a coffee boy, and he's under the thumb of SAS.
You know what would be awesome about
What?
being the mayor and working in middle management? If the boss comes down with you like, I'm gonna rezone your fucking driveway, dude.
Having that trump card would be absolutely amazing.
You want this on your desk by Monday? I
Are
hope
you guys connecting with this? Are they adding any new parking restrictions in Cary, North Carolina? What else is going on? Are they raising taxes?
They're talking about it.
I heard they're remodeling the county library.
No, they actually did get the new library, but that we probably already covered that on past casts. We need to do the Cary cast.
What's the population in Cary?
What?
It's growing. It's,
Population.
I think it's projected to like get another 1 million in 10 years because there's so much business is moving there.
Really?
A million people?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like a huge influx because it's part of the Research Triangle Park in North Carolina.
Wow.
J. Cole's mom moved there, which was big news because all my friends were like, "You see her at Lifetime Fitness," and it's like that's creepy because J. Cole's like one thing, but her like knowing what his mom looks like, and she's just in there just trying to get her hot Pilates on, and people are tapping her shoulder like, "Are you J. Cole's mom? Can you please sign my leg? I want to get a tattoo."
was to your son's music.
Well, to be fair, I'm familiar with every single woman who's come into Lifetime Fitness. They're in my catalog.
Harry, you do have the outfit of like undercover sleazy reporter.
By the way, for
What's
the
that Jake
listeners,
Gyllenhaal movie?
Yeah, Nightcrawler.
I'm wearing a trench coat. My penis is in a box of cereal.
When Harry's not here, he's photographing dead bodies on the Kennedy Expressway at midnight.
Excuse me, me and Mark call it research.
We certainly did. That was such a good one. That was a walk off for Steve.
You closed the podcast out for Steve. Do you want to? Should we get into?
Getting some questions?
Yeah, we take questions from the audience.
Yes.
I think this time we might try using Harry's mic because in previous recordings, the audience questions don't come through.
Yeah, we want to make sure everyone's mic'd and picking up. So should we start with any crowd questions or one of the ones we have, Mr. Emerson?
Yep. Nah. Usually when the crowd is small, it's hard to. Yeah. Let's start with one from the email.
Let's start with one from the email, and if you guys have anything cooking, we'll come back.
Just raise your hand.
Just raise your
All
hand.
right. Let's see.
We're going to go popcorn style.
Speaking of speaking of me and Mark doing research, we'll start with this question. I asked.
It's all in acrylic. It's a Russian girl.
I asked my Airbnb host if the guest house I'm staying at next weekend was available for me to show up one day earlier. He said, quote, "For the right price, my girl," followed by a winking face.
This is Mark talking to the Russian girl.
By the way, my name is Mark McPartland.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I had known that was going to get out, I wouldn't have sent that.
I'm traveling solo and don't love the look of this guy's profile picture. Is this a red flag? Do I follow up on this message or just back out completely? So, Airbnb host said, "For the right price, my girl, looking for an extra day." The question is it a red flag?
First of all, I think it's good for this question that the three guys have the mic here. Let's see. I would say that's for the right price, my girl is creepy. The only one that should talk like that is the guy that runs Jurassic Park. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you just like, or where, like, how is it, like, in the room over the, I mean, you can't ask this question, but it's like, is it in the room over the garage? Is it in a bomb shelter or something? Or is this like, are you staying on a cot under his lofted bed or something like that?
I think he must be nearby.
Yeah,
He can't be
he's-
like, email me a blowjob. You
Yeah.
know, it's quid
Well, it's
pro
guest
quo.
house, so I imagine it's
Yeah.
He's
Are you
probably
saying-
rich. He's got a mansion. He's got a guest house.
Oh,
that
he's
he
got a-
rents out.
For the right, he said, did he say girl or my girl?
My girl.
My girl.
For the
Harassing
for the right
my
price,
girl.
I wish we could see a picture of him, because there's
Yeah.
a chance that I would say if you're playing devil's advocate, there's a chance it's an old guy trying to talk cool,
That
which
is true.
always comes off creepy.
Yeah. For the right
Or
price.
he's just on a whole nother generation of language
Yeah.
Yeah.
where he's like, my girl? I didn't hear the whole first part of this. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
The tone of voice is important.
Yeah,
We
there's
need
a
the
winky.
tone.
I will say winky face after.
Oh, did he do a winky face
Yeah,
afterwards?
followed
You're
by a
giving
winky
him-
face.
Yeah.
Followed by a winky
So
face.
he was like, in case there's any confusion about this being creepy, I'm doing a winky face afterwards. He almost gave us as much. So that seems like that's a definite no. Or at least go in there with the suit of armor. You know what?
Yeah. What's one of the ghost detectors? You need an EMF to see if there's a camera under the bed or something like that.
That is true. That is true.
What'd you say? Go in there with a suit of armor?
Go in there with a suit. Go in like with the
It is a
CDC.
castle-themed Airbnb, so that
Yeah.
would make sense.
You might have to, go in there with a. You know what? The thing is that if she doesn't do this, we'll never know if our advice was good or not. So
Right.
we should
That's
encourage
true.
her to do it, get some live feedback about how good the advice is. If something bad happens to her, well, then we're down one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our advice
Well, I'm
is
sorry,
to be
we're
found
12
in a
and
river.
1
Yeah.
with stellar advice. Excuse me, ABC News. We should never have told her to go there.
Yeah, that's how you know the questions aren't planted, because sometimes we lose a couple.
Well, maybe. Here's my advice. I think that she should message him back and say $8, smiley face, and if he says, yeah, that was the right price, then it was just a miscommunication. He wanted $8. You know, it could be a deal. It could be a steal.
Could be.
Yeah,
a
this
deal,
might be.
too.
We might have to do like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and do a crowd one on this. This is a no. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Except it's Who Wants to Be a Murderer.
From the ladies.
this is a hard no.
Hard no from. There we go. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna say, just to answer the question, 2/3. You're at a 66%.
Yeah.
No. But if you're feeling frisky.
But also, just to be sure about how this rules, is that the audience vote counts for 5%. My count.
It's a weighted. It's a
very weighted
electoral
thing.
college.
It's an electoral college
With
system.
Mark's politics, I'm surprised he's giving the women in the audience any percentage.
Surely, I'm trying to turn a new leaf to show. I have to branch out.
I also would love to know how important the trip is.
Yeah,
right.
Do you have fallback plans? Can you hit it a days in, or is this like the only?
Well,
the only
exactly.
gig in town?
We don't know if she's going to the oldest town in Russia that only has one Airbnb, which is a castle.
truly.
Yeah,
I
would
wish I
say
could
definitely.
have a person that could help her out with that, but unfortunately, I don't want to triple text on this one.
It's just a picture of Count Cocula. It's like, I don't know if I can trust this guy.
But this is also bad because she's saying about this about going a day early, which means that she now knows this information is still going to go. Like, this guy's not going to, like, not be creepy. He doesn't have, like, he's not, like, only creepy on weekdays or something. He's going to be creepy when she's there.
No, he's
as
only
well.
creepy on the town's birthday. It's May 4th. Please come earlier.
I would say if you do say yes, definitely try pulling every book on the bookshelf. Just to see if it spins you around into a Scooby-Doo staircase.
100%. Yeah, you got to absolutely.
Here's the thing. It could
Check
be a
for
total
hollow
creep.
points
It
in the
could be
wall.
the guy who operates the mill. You might get to the bottom of the mystery.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah.
They put it back on Netflix.
Thank God. What are we doing here? They put Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated back on Netflix. Throw it up on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm going to say
I'm going to say no.
no from Mark.
Just because I'm just trying, I'm a people pleaser. And I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
I'm going to say proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Don't cancel a vacation over it, but maybe send a follow-up, question. It's also,
Yeah.
I will say it's also bizarre to just message and say, can I come a day early? Instead of doing the traditional, like going through the app and extending the day.
That does seem like to be inviting trouble to be going off of it. But send us an update from the radiator you end up chained to. Should we move on to the next one?
Oh, wait,
Hit
Steve,
us
I
with
want
the
Steve's.
next
I want
one.
Steve's.
I kind of missed the first part of the whole scenario, so I don't want to.
Girl traveling. She's taking an Airbnb. She messaged to say, "Can I come a day early?"
Yeah, that's right there. I hate her right there. Why didn't she just put in the first? Why didn't she just put in the date out of the gate?
Because something must have changed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Plans change.
She
Okay.
might be trying to see, like, the first time of the NASCAR thing or something. She needs to come in.
Gotcha. All right.
It is. I will say, I do agree. It is strange to go with the message request for a extra early. It makes it sound like you're
Right.
trying to get it for free, instead
Right.
of doing
Yeah.
the within 24 hours you can extend your stay or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
But
I have to say, is
I don't
this,
hate
is
her.
this
I like
the
her.
app version of the "What were you wearing" to the girl that's might get like? Well, I mean, she was asking for it, going on back channels and not using the Airbnb chat function. This seems,
I did it when I.
Here's
took
what
care
I'm
of-
saying: is you book a trip. When you book a trip, do you just you don't know what day you're gonna go? You book it and then you consult the person.
Something must have happened.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. I say we stop the podcast right now. Stop
Shut
the
the whole
podcast.
thing down
Can we
and no one
contact
listens.
who sent this in?
Until
Steve's
the-
advice is get your shit together, lady.
Pick the date before you book it. All right.
Steve's advice is it's called Google Calendar. It'll update you.
You know what? Why you guys are really downplaying the safety of Airbnb, I think.
What do you mean?
what do you-
The
like-
owner of Airbnb says that you could sleep in his house.
Yeah.
He said, "You know what? People are questioning Airbnb safety. I'm renting out a room in my house." I read an article
so
about that.
Is that real?
disconnected. That's so funny. That's like
The Uber
you're
guy
worried
got
that you can't safely sleep with any stranger in the country. I mean, if it gets that weird, crash at my place.
That was like his. I think it was a New York Times article I read. He was like, "People are worried about the safety, so I rented out my spare bedroom."
I'm sure also his house looks like the White House, and he's rented out basically the east wing of it. And you also have to. He probably puts up lasers at night to make sure people can't get to wherever.
Yeah,
his
they
master
probably
suite is.
chopper him out of there. I mean,
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
guy from Uber got fired in an Uber for screaming racial obscenities or something. Did
the
you hear
guy
about-
from Uber.
the guy that created Uber got in an Uber and forgot that he's still technically on company time. And so the guy recorded him just saying like a bunch of like racial obscenities, and you're like, we got
That's
two.
that's Dr. Manhattan getting taken down by his own device.
True.
He fell victim to his own.
I like that you included he forgot he was on company time, like you clock out and then
Another day in the books.
All right, so sorry, I'm focused. I got too mad that she booked it. She asked for a modification.
It's okay.
I'm gonna redact it. So, keep going. What were we gonna say?
Oh, so anyway, so she says, "Can I come a day early?" I don't know. We could also maybe she just sent a follow-up message and change the dates in the app. We don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, the guy responds with, what does he say?
The quote is, "For the right price, my girl." Winky face.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then she also says, I get a bad vibe from his profile.
Yeah,
pic.
from his
Yeah.
profile, he got a bad vibe. That's
Just
not,
from the profile picture. That's rough. That's no good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to just not book if you get a bad vibe out of the gate.
Well,
yeah.
there's rarely. I will
I
say
said
If you
don't
look
book.
in the profile picture, if he looked like, I don't know, like Colonel Sanders or something, like maybe it's like a folksy Southern, like my girl kind of. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, despite everything he's done to not earn it.
What if it's a 13-year-old?
Question.
He's renting out his parents' unit. He doesn't know how to communicate.
Yeah, I would say don't cancel the trip over it, but send a follow-up question. Mine would be like, are you going to be there? Or, so just something to make sure that if you get one more creepy response, I say, get out of there. It sounds, according to the host, she can. The
What-
bedroom is open.
It is open.
Mark says no. I say proceed with caution. Steve says,
I say go with your gut.
the advice is getting less clear
Yeah.
as we go.
This is a good advice podcast. Just do it.
But it's
feels
like if
right
you
for
feel bad, if it creeps you out, enough to ask,
Yeah.
I would be like, no, don't. But
If
if you're
it
like,
creeps you out enough to
if you're-
email
if-
Turnip and
yeah,
Stone
yeah,
Advice
yeah.
Podcast.
if he goes, what did he say? What's the price, my girl, winky face? And you're like, I don't know. What could I offer you? And
Yeah.
that's your gut. Then like you're a different kind of person. I don't know what to tell you there, but
If you're going to Turnip and Stone, you're going to turn up Stone Cold Dead. That's what I
Truly.
think.
yeah, you're gonna get.
Harry, what do you say?
Ooh, I'd say I'm a lazy person, so I probably would end up going. But I feel like this is a no.
Yeah.
This is a no. Hopefully, you're
Yeah.
going to a place with another Airbnb, but
There
this
we
person
go.
is already making sexy ovations at you, and that's a huge leap to go from she's staying with me to I think she wants something.
Yeah.
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 I'd say it's probably a no from me.
Well, people
dog.
do that leap. A lot of times people do that. She works for me. I think she wants something. I've seen guys made smaller leaps for less. I'm saying stay away from that. If you need an Airbnb, 739 West Belmont Avenue. You can stay with me.
Don't be off-put by the fact that all the stuff in the apartment looks Russian. I had another plan.
I had another thing
My
happening.
other plan fell through.
We're going to be eating a traditional Russian cuisine that's in my fridge because someone wasn't there to eat it.
Do you want borscht?
You want-
Just Mark with a Puerto Rican. You want borscht? I have borscht. Yeah, let me pour you a drink. I have vodka and borscht.
And vodka and borscht. Don't ask what's happening. I
What's
miss her every
borscht?
day.
Speaking of, we're ready for question 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unless anybody's got.
Let's do it. Does anyone in the audience have something?
Now that you've seen the kind of magic we can
Yeah,
work.
now you've seen the help that we can.
All right, the audience. The audience has given the floor to our internet users. All right. This question is about roommates. My roommate just took up playing the banjo and is understandably absolute garbage at it. It's a small apartment, and I found the sound drives me insane. We work most of the day, so his only time to practice is after we're both done with work. How can I lessen or get rid of this madness? I don't want to shut down his learning a new instrument, but oh my god. So the question is, roommate is playing banjo terribly. How to mitigate the situation?
First of all, you are doing work from home way wrong if you're actually working 9 to 5. I could squeeze plenty of banjo time out of my work from home job.
I think they're saying that they work during the day, then come back.
Oh, I thought they were working from the same spot. That's why the sound was.
And so, like, the only time is when they can get back, and then as soon as this person gets home, they come home also to the banjo.
Damn. You got to. I mean, you're going to have to put them on like a 30-minute banjo. I mean, the second you learn how to do that, doom, 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 that's it. You don't really need to learn another one. I would.
It's a tough one to learn. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like trumpet. Like the learning curve is going to be.
And it's
nuts.
it's very unforgiving when you play a wrong note. It kind of sounds wrong when you're playing it right sometimes. So it's kind of,
Yeah, they're asking the wrong person because Mark and I are lulled to sleep every night.
Yeah, you're asking two Cary, North Carolina boys what we think about a banjo 24/7.
What should you do about someone playing banjo in your residence? I don't know. Feed him and provide shelter
maybe
for him?
get a washboard and a jug and join in.
I was going to say washboard too. It's exactly my instinct. How about you meet him in the middle and get a jaw harp and just twang away?
That actually could be a thing. Like maybe you take up like the theremin or something, like an equally. You just have like a dueling, annoying instrument.
Yeah, just ask him to jam all the time. And he's like, whenever you play, we'll jam, and then you get the theremin out. But you have to be bad at theremin.
Yeah.
Or else then you just also have to play theremin with the banjo. So
or
it's
you
risky.
play the banjo.
Dude, that'd be the craziest band to take off.
The banjo
With,
and theremin band.
A banjo and theremin duo.
That would be a pretty. I mean. Yeah, that'd be wild. I've gone to some independent music festivals my friends have dragged me to where I've seen bands like that, and they don't really go anywhere. You should take up banjo yourself and then always challenge him to dueling banjos.
Dueling banjos.
Every time he's trying to do diddle-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding, you're in your room just diddle-ding-ding-ding-ding.
That's kind of what I thought too. Get the washboard, play loudly and aggressively,
Yeah.
and ruin the jam.
Yeah, no, but it's,
Sabotage it, deep state in the living room.
it's tough because there's some ego to it. Not to make this a serious podcast, but like having to be like you need to do this for 30 minutes, and actually that seems like reasonable as a sound thing because you can't be like you are so trash that it makes me want to listen to the sounds of planes crashing instead. You can't say that. That's how I would say, but I'm just have an abrasive North Carolina personality. But yeah, you got to be like 30 minutes is the relegated time. I'm sorry, I support you. I'll go to all of your live, I don't know, hoedowns or whatever, but you can't be doing this.
How about every time he starts playing the banjo, you just kick in the bedroom door in like one strap overall straw hat and start singing like "Devil Went Down to Georgia" and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were doing it." If we're not doing it, you got to tell me.
Well, I would think. I mean, if I was learning an instrument in the house, I would be so ashamed for anyone to hear me.
I got a guitar, and this is the great thing that my roommate did was that I would like play a song, and then it's the most devastating thing is that he would come out like, "Yeah, you practicing Nirvana in there," and there was something so embarrassing about it that it actually got me to stop playing. Like, yeah, what come as you are? Is that what you're playing? And I was like, I'm about to go destroy this guitar like Kurt Cobain at the end of a set.
Yeah, what you could do is just through the wall, just like wagon wheel.
That's honestly not a bad idea if you just keep commenting on it.
Like, wow.
Like, oh, no, you're coming along.
It's coming
good.
good.
Yeah. Oh, no, you'll get it.
No, just like when they come out, be like, yeah, chords are hard. Chords are really hard.
You could also saw at the strings just enough so that when he touches them, they snap. You know, you could chain him to the radiator. I mean, who knows?
You could break his kneecaps and tell him to not fucking try to try you ever
Every time
again.
he starts playing, just turn the heat up a little bit more so it just gets really fucking hot in there.
It with the banjo with being uncomfortable is that you constantly make it kind of like a little bit too hot. It's like a neurological link there.
What if you imply you're the person who's been killing young men and dumping them in the river so that he moves out? Just something low stakes, you know?
Hey, look, I'm so happy you've got a new hobby. I need to talk to you. I have an insatiable bloodlust, and I prowl the alleys of Chicago at night.
Hey, I need to practice dragging something 160 pounds. Could you just lie down and act like you're struggling?
Can you lie on this plastic sheet for me? I need to practice something. I'm also working on a new skill.
Do you want to rewatch Dexter with me? Just taking notes.
Hey, that
go
rag that you used to polish the brash on your banjo, do you think that could get out a blood stain that's at Belmont Harbor right now? And he's like, what? You just dropped small little hints.
I say you just... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would say like it depends how long the person's practicing the banjo. If it honestly is just like 30 minutes, you might just have to tough it out. If it's 2 hours of diddling a day, then
that is unreasonable to be
do
like.
Do what you do.
That is
30 minute,
an
hour. So you get an hour.
It's unreasonable to be like
7.
you can't practice a new hobby in here because you must be like, I'm working. I got to find a new thing. The city's on fire. I got to like get something to get my mental health up. And then you do like diddle and your roommate's coming in like, could you not? Like that seems like that's a bit much.
Part of being unsuccessful enough to have a roommate is that you do have to.
You got to have fun.
Also, have some compassion. This person in their life, they live in a small apartment. And what they think they're going to do to find purpose is learn the banjo at 28 years old.
It's my ticket
They are
outta here.
struggling. They are struggling.
Yeah.
I hate this because you also, I think you're looking at, I can't speak for Steve, but two guys that have probably late at night opened up Amazon and looked at Amazon Choice banjos to see.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is-
I was gonna say I've plucked. I've been around.
I've gone to
plucking.
the Guitar
Yeah.
Center and just been like, that's got a good resonance, but I don't know if I could swing it. Like I've been where this man is before in his life, where you're
Yeah.
like, it's too late to irrevocably fix the deep things that are wrong with me as a person. And
Do they
perhaps
give-
if I join a jam band, that'll smooth over the kinks in my personality.
Does it give an age? Was it actually 28, or did you riff that?
No, I mean, it doesn't give an age.
Well,
it's just
bluegrass is
two
timeless.
roommates, small apartment.
Because when I was 22, I was taking an instrument out on the porch roof, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like
you're
they don't have a
lost.
porch. If
Yeah.
they do have a porch,
I played
use a porch.
drums in high school, which that's a nightmare. That you shouldn't be
Oh,
allowed
yeah.
to play that one. Like
That's a war crime.
Yeah, you can't. Like it was just constantly me trying to learn that like intro to Smells Like Teen Spirit, and and my neighbors being like, "You have to stop. We support the arts, but like legitimately, our dog is eating through furniture right now." And
Mark,
I was like,
unfortunately, I can no longer feel it coming in the air tonight. You have to stop.
I think the perfect solution: get them an electric banjo.
I was about to say the same thing.
Electric banjo. Put the headphones in. Boom.
Yeah, my
Can
buddy
this
did that
person
with
afford
drums.
one?
He got electric drums,
Yeah.
so we could put the headphones.
"Oh, I got electric
Yeah.
drums now."
Do they
I-
make
I-
electric banjos?
I'm sure they do. I have a
They
feeling
must have
this
like a
person
stopper
cannot
or
afford
something
one.
that you can put in, because you can do that with acoustic guitars. You can put a stopper in and somehow make it. I don't know. This is something my roommate gently suggested to me one time. So maybe
I've never seen what do you call it? An electric banjo. I've seen an electric fiddle.
I don't think it's everyone's first choice to
Yeah.
bring to a party and
kind of
try to
seems like
fuck.
it goes against the ethos of banjo
Sort of like
music
Dylan
to-
going electric.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Judas from the other room when you hear.
Electric banjo and the acoustic theremin jam band. It's just a guy going. Oh.
I think we had. What was your suggestion for?
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. We got the
What?
mic. Into the mic.
My best friend, terrible guitar player, terrible singer.
Uh-huh.
But I give it a window of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's very humbling to watch someone like struggle and like work their way through the chords.
Yeah.
I think there's value in that.
But you've had the discussion before? Not like.
No, I encourage her all the way.
Okay.
But it's painful.
Okay, so I guess the thing is, for the sake of the growth of art, you gotta just kind of bite your pillow and.
Yeah, and as
All right.
artists, I think
That's
we
a
can all
5% opinion, by the way.
You know,
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to say.
There we go.
that's good.
That was
That is,
some-
yeah, it
that was
is.
reasonable advice.
It
right
is.
there.
There's something sweet about seeing someone struggle to get good at something and be like, I'm not gonna interrupt this. Yeah.
I think it's a time. You know.
The problem is with when you learn the banjo, every time there's a full moon, you do have to play, and that's at night because sometimes the moon calls for you to play the deep blues. Their passion is there.
I had a banjo playing friend who's now in a successful banjo band.
Yeah, I knew.
Tan and Sober Gentleman. Look him up. Tan and Sober Gentleman.
and Sober Gentleman.
Great little, whatever, Appalachian sort of Celtic-y punk band or whatever.
Yeah.
His name's Tucker, and he gave me moonshine in my freshman year in college.
Really? I've only ever had
Yeah.
that moonshine that they sell at convenience stores.
No,
And-
no. This was moonshine. He brought it in like a cardboard, whatever. There's like 12 small mason jars with blackberries in them, and the blackberries had started to lose their color. And he got it from a guy named Bubba.
Ooh, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
from a guy
And
named-
speaking of Russians, actually, we got shit faced, and we got on chat roulette. Remember when that was a thing?
I do
Oh,
remember when
yeah.
that was a thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We talked to 3 Russian girls on chat roulette till like 2 a.m. getting shit faced on Bubba's moonshine.
I think
And
one
then I
of the
sprinted around Appalachian State's campus.
One of the worst things I did for
Trying
my
to get home.
self-esteem is we would go on chat roulette, and me and my other friend would hide, and then we had the hot friend who was like just overflowing with testosterone, because for us in chat roulette was just all to get girls to show us their boobs. That was the entire point. So we would hide because we thought we were too ugly to get boobs. And then when we did hide, there were boobs. But I remember hiding, waiting for the boobs to come out.
You were
Yeah.
popping out like Chris Hansen the second the
Yeah,
kiss came
yeah.
out. Like, why don't you take a seat right there?
Uh-huh.
It's us, the other two.
Yeah.
Why don't you sit right there? No need to put the shirt back on.
No need to put the shirt back on.
Except we're all children. We're all 15 in that one.
Yeah.
The thing that was always like people would go on there to jerk off, and then it seems like everyone was on there to I was looking for real people, and I was seeing the most Bangladeshi penis I've ever seen in my life.
Mark's just like, I want to connect with someone.
I'm trying to.
I came hours ago.
God damn it!
And I haven't found a single friend.
My friend Eric told me there's Russian girls on here. I'm trying to find the one.
I have a question that could honestly be in the same universe. So let's pretend that the roommate does have a balcony, and the suggestion is made to go play on the balcony. Here is a separate question.
Ooh.
Just moved into an apartment with a balcony overlooking a courtyard of other apartments. Is it a dick move to play my music out there on the balcony? So it could be playing your own music. I guess it could be playing on a Bluetooth speaker.
It all depends on the time,
The volume.
the volume, and if other shit's going on out there. Next question.
It depends.
Boom.
So much
Call
stuff
him
could
the
be just boiled down to read the room. You know what I
Truly.
mean? Like, if you're doing too loud, you
Yeah.
know if you're not good.
And you can step over one, like with that shit, I feel like you can go loud if it's the right, is it Saturday on a fucking 6 p.m.?
yeah.
Yeah.
You can go loud for a little bit, but you can't go too loud too late.
Yeah.
Also,
You
do
know?
it like you got to do it to a volume where it's really only going to fill like maybe they can sort of hear it in their other places. Sometimes people get the Bluetooth and they crank it up to 11 and they really try to let all of East Lakeview know that they are bobbing the new Carly Rae.
Now, Mark, are you a Bluetooth speaker on the bicycle as you ride through town?
Oh, I was
No,
just
I'm
gonna
not.
say.
Or on the backpack?
Eric, you were there when I broke out the Bluetooth speaker by the lake, and I lost confidence in my DJing immediately. I played like 1.5 songs, and I was just like, you know what, music's is kind of stupid. I agree with fucking censorship. We shouldn't have the arts corrupts the soul.
I used to live in Portland, Oregon, and it was huge there to have like a whole subwoofer system on the back of your 10-speed bicycle.
Yeah.
And just blast. I think it's insane. I think it's
No.
completely insane.
I agree. I would go headphones in and then just get hit by a bus before I would go.
Yeah, yeah.
I would go to Music Biker Valhalla before I put the fucking speaker on the back.
It's the Midwestern in me. I would rather die than bother someone. You
Yeah.
know, I think that's right. That's righteous.
If you're the DJ, you should consider the lyrics that you play, and you should consider the audience.
One of
Yeah.
our audience members just said you should consider the lyrics.
Consider the lyrics that you play,
Could sh-
whether
Mhm.
it's an alt vibe, and you should consider the audience. Like, we're not trying to listen to the deep tracks, you know, we're trying to
Consider the lyrics.
Yeah, if
and
you do play,
consider
like,
the. That's a good point.
2000s
Children.
bops or something, no one's going to be upset because people are going to be like, oh, fuck, this music's playing. Then they're going to hear No Scrubs, and they're going to be like, you know what, keep going.
yeah.
going,
If you
keep
take
going.
the guitar
top
out-
40. You got to play top 40 if it's loud.
There's acoustic guitar classics that
Yeah.
if you were playing them on your porch at the right time in a courtyard apartment, it'd be tough to fault. You know what I
In a-
mean?
Wait, say that again?
There's acoustic guitar classics.
Yeah.
That if
Well,
you were
like Hotel
wait, is the question
California or
about
something?
DJing or is it about playing an instrument?
It's vague. It says it is a dick move to play my music.
Yeah, that
out
probably
there on
means
the
playing
balcony. I
like
think probably
Spotify
DJ.
music
Oh,
or something.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
case, yeah, you got to keep it down. I would say Friday, Saturdays, you can let it rip a little bit more.
I think the only people in my book who can are construction workers and day laborers. You
Yeah.
know, they're out in the sun. It's 400 degrees. You can play the radio. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
They do get a
I
pass.
support you.
My brother does this, but he has like he has really bad music taste. He really likes. I mean, he likes pirate metal. So if there's if there's pirate metal fans here, but the thing is that no one ever wants to listen
What's
to.
pirate metal?
It's
Performed
metal,
by
but
Parrot.
it's all like done like it's themed like pirates talking. So it's like all the songs are about like storming Tortuga and stuff to like blast beat metal music. And the thing is that no one ever wants to listen to pirate metal with him. if you can believe it. There's people who are not ready to hear that new hip sound that's sweeping the old
You
world.
best start believing in homeowners associations, because you're in one.
So he always takes the opportunity to blast. Like, he'll play music loudly as an attempt for someone to ask him, hey, what's that jaunt I hear over there? So, like, if you're playing music to try to put your music tastes on other people, you should take your Bluetooth speaker and throw it in the garbage disposal. But if you're generally trying to play the box,
Your music's too loud. Now walk the plank out of the Willowbrook Township.
Because I've recently come into a deck myself, which you've seen.
A deck?
A deck in the
Oh,
new
yeah.
apartment that I got.
Oh,
It has
okay.
the deck.
Yeah.
So this might be a question I have to consider in the future.
I don't know if I'd call it a deck.
ooh, fight.
I
What?
think on special
What'd you-
occasions.
To me, a
A
deck
port. What is it?
comes off of a house. It's all wood.
Yeah, I was thinking it was like a wooden. You mean like you got like a balcony?
It's no, by
A
no means.
balcony.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. I
is
call
a-
it. Is that a distinction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, when you
Yeah.
guys say deck, I'm thinking of porch.
Huh.
To me, deck is anything off the side of
That's
a
my
house.
great-
Now you threw in porch.
Yeah.
Porch
Making
is in
it
the
money
front
here.
of the house. Porch is always in the front of the
We had
house.
a back porch growing up.
Yeah, back
Yeah, there is
porch.
a
Yeah,
back
we did have a
porch.
back
It's
porch.
back porch.
If it's closed in, it's a porch. In the back.
Deck
Okay.
seems like I got to work on my deck. Deck has big. You could
All
you
right.
could fit.
I have a balcony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
balcony, apartment, deck, house, but unenclosed. Enclosed house is porch.
Yeah. You
Are these
just-
the rules?
I
Enclosed.
Are we all agreeing that these are the
okay,
rules?
if it's in the
Yes.
front, it's 100% a porch.
yes.
If it's in the back
Well,
and
not
it's
if it's
No, if it's in
second
the-
story, no ground access. That's not a porch.
That's
That's
a balcony. That's a front balcony.
it's a balcony, yeah.
This is much. This is
So
like
you
a
can
line
have
in
a
the
porch
sand.
and a balcony. You can have a porch balcony combination.
But you would never call it a. You would anything that's in a rate like that's in an apartment building, no matter where the window is facing, is a balcony, and that's something I'll die on that hill. And then porches are real. Like I picture we had a back porch and it was made out of good old wood.
Yeah.
A nice big old wood thing.
Maybe it's one of those like.
Did it have a roof over the top of it?
No. Well, actually, we had a screened-in back porch, and then we got a.
So it had a screen and no roof?
No, wait. I'm trying to remember. I blocked out most of the memories of my childhood.
Mark, what are you
was
talking
actually
about
a
over there? What the
cave.
fuck's going on?
No, we had a screen-in porch, and then at some point during my childhood, we got a back porch attached to the screen-in porch, and that's not to just
You
to
got a
dro-
porch on top of a porch?
We got a porch on top of a porch, and that's not to just.
It's like pornography. Like it's like I can't define it, but I know it when I see
Yeah,
it.
but like when I think of a porch, I specifically.
Yeah. And it's only for guys.
So to answer your question, you're thinking about you're eventually going to be in this scenario where
yeah,
you're-
I'm just saying this lines up well because I'm moving into the new place. I got the balcony. The balcony. Apparently.
You better say that. It's a good thing we corrected you before you were going out to Sprout and
I
inviting
texted
people
my
over to your
friend from
porch
Nor-
party.
I'm going to check after this. I texted a video of it to my friend from North Carolina. I'm pretty sure he said you got a porch.
He was probably born in Columbia, South Carolina or something. He wasn't.
Here's what I think about a balcony. I think
Yeah.
I have a balconic porch.
A
Is that-
balconic porch?
A balconic porch.
Don't even throw that in there. What is a balconic porch?
I think
That's
the-
where you can play pirate metal.
yeah, that's
yeah. I am Jack Sparrow.
holy
I
shit.
feel like a balcony only has one point of entrance. You come out from the apartment, you're on the balcony.
That's a great
my
point.
porch, it's like balcony shaped.
Ooh,
but
that is
the stairs go down to the ground level. Like I have two entrances. I think a balcony, you just come out.
Porch has stairs.
If you have a balcony, it's a plus.
A balcony,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
So we're not
Definitely.
arguing
That's kind of
over
unrelated,
the efficacy
but-
of how good it is to have one of these things.
We're lucky.
These
We're
are all
lucky for
huge.
of it.
These are all huge come-ups in the world of Eric Emerson. Balcony, porch, call it what you will. I've never had an outside section to an apartment.
That's huge. I've never had. Actually, we had a really small one that was very rickety. That
I have a fire escape. That's what I've gone out on.
yeah. Do we have a balcony?
And let me tell you, you can play whatever music you want on a fire escape.
Oh, you certainly can.
When you live in a part of town where you're hanging out on the fire escape, no one's
coming
doing noise
by
complaints.
being like, those better be soft rock classics. People are just letting you
No,
vibe.
because let me tell you, my iPad could not compete with the mariachi across the street anyway. So it was pretty. I was SOL.
Well, we're just around an hour. We've got one more question, and then we can. Do you want to wrap? It's an
Yeah.
hour-long podcast.
I mean, it's we feel it out, but that feels appropriate. You wanna
Show
do one, we'll do
business.
one
It's
more,
show
and then if
business.
anybody has anything they want to bring, we'll do that, and
Perfect.
we'll get out.
All right. So, also, I guess what was the consensus? Music on the porch / balcony? Yes or no?
I don't like it. Even when I'm hanging out with people on their back porch and they're blasting music too loud, and it's just like I become like their concerned neighbor or something.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like,
Yeah.
they're gonna come up here and tell us that they hate Naughty by Nature or whatever we're listening to.
I would say if you're doing open porch music, courtyard, it's got to be background music at
Yeah.
best. It's got to be behind whatever you're doing.
Here's,
Yeah, that's
here's
a
an
good-
interesting thing that I just thought of that I forgot to mention a second ago. Montrose Beach, we were there the other day. There's a guy, this is kind of related but unrelated. He was playing music for the entire beach.
Yeah.
That.
Any opinions on this? He had 2 Bluetooth speakers he brought on a dolly playing music for the entire beach. I thought it was great. I thought it was fucking. And here's
Wait,
the
you
thing,
liked it?
and this goes to the question: is like you can't say don't play music in public. Everyone loved it. It was some
I
smooth
don't
shit.
know.
So you
Did
really
they?
have to read the room.
Here's the thing. I imagine I wouldn't have.
Maybe
loved
they
it.
did.
You're not in a
love it.
room. That's the problem. Read the outside.
Read
you
the
can't, too many
environment.
people.
Even if it's music that I like, I'll get grumpy if someone does something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Probably everybody didn't like
I had a
it.
friend who
Yeah.
would play music on his Bluetooth speaker hiking through the woods.
That's
Insane.
That's
because
why
the beach is at least noisy.
That ruins it.
That's
Yeah, you
insane.
gotta-
Why hike?
I know why. I don't want to listen to Juice World. I want to listen to Real World. you know?
The hike is too escape. Would be a funny video to see like Bear Malls hiker to
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag and just a bear just like getting into a jugular of a person? That would be fantastic.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
All right, we're considerate about music choices in public. All right, last question from our notes here. Do most people truly enjoy talking to their office coworkers, or is everyone just trying to get through it with a friendly face? Do you boys have any advice on not seeming completely disinterested when being approached by a coworker, but also cutting the conversation as short as possible? My answer is get on Prozac if you're having a hard time.
This is brought to you by Lexapro. This question.
So yeah, does anyone like talking to their coworkers? Is everyone faking it? And how do you avoid seeming disinterested and cutting them off? Seems like a basic politeness question.
I've been thinking about this recently. I think people have overcorrected on the dislike of small talk. I think it was acceptable, and then it became, people started to notice it was a little too much. Everything comes in waves, And then, but now I think that it became kind of like, it's now cool to not like small talk. And I think people are missing out on what would otherwise be perfectly fine office conversation because they're like, they're going into it with a bad attitude.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
True.
Let's throw that around.
I think the air is covered in smoke.
I might
No
be
one's
the,
working in offices anymore.
That's
true.
good
Yeah.
small talk.
I
Well,
though.
I also feel like I was saying this to Steve the other day. I feel like crowds post-COVID aren't as fun for stand-up comedy. I feel
Oh.
like people acclimated to being
I don't know.
Isolated.
isolated, and I've just and I could be projecting. I might be less funny.
I don't know. I was performing in front of 6
Is there a
people
little
before,
bit
and I'm
of that
performing
vibe?
in front.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No?
Nah. I heard they're bad at like concerts and stuff. I hear people are like going crazier at like what are supposed to be mild concerts or something like that. I've heard
We've
that
got some
the
yeses
youths
and
don't.
no's from the audience, some concurrence, some discurrence.
I might have
think
gotten less funny.
Yeah.
It could be that.
Did you get vaccinated?
Yeah. It's actually suspiciously lined up with that.
In response to this, I think that I have coworkers who I like, who are all my age, and I like talking to. The problem is I don't like talking to my coworkers is that I always feel like I have to guard the bit of my personality that lets them know that I'm an absolute sort of unorganized slob who doesn't do like it's always there's one degree of filter where it's like we're friends, we're good and we're friends, but I can't tell you how much I am absolutely not in control of the reins of my life. At least you go snitch to the big man.
Well, see, but the difference between that and talking to a parent is minimal.
Yeah, that is true. But it's good. Yeah, the small talk can be as long as you don't have like a we used to work at the same place. And we had
did.
fun. We had fun coworkers. I mean, not fun coworkers. We had, and you know,
We had fun co-working with each other.
Yeah, we had yeah, and honestly, you can honestly, if it's someone that's a bit of like a character, like, and you know, they're gonna talk to you about, like,
Do you like people come up? Hey, Mark.
no,
Hey.
you
You have a good weekend?
Even you saying this, you're doing a good point because you just did a real life example of that, and I felt like my body recoil when you just
Good
did
to
that.
see you. I haven't
Oh.
seen you. Did you go out of town?
Oh man, yeah, I did go out of town. God damn it! This is why I normally typically when I was in an office, I was a real go get the coffee, and the second someone would be like, "That's crazy that they're gonna think about moving the Bears stadium," and I was just like, "This is crazy that I could probably stick the stir in my nose and kill myself."
I do like small talk. I do hate it, but I do think I do like it a little bit.
I like it. Well, here's the thing. I've never really loved it. I just think that it's become so in vogue to be like. And then he tried to tell me about his weekend. You're like, yeah, but he had a weekend. Let a guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like after a while, all you really have is weather and weekends, and you got to let people get that out somewhere.
How do you feel about extracurricular activities around the office?
Like when they want me to go somewhere?
Yeah, where they're like, we're gonna have a pizza party after.
Mhm.
We're all gonna go have cocktails at 4 p.m.
Well, here's the thing. If I was friends with
We can be friends and coworkers, Mark.
That's what they do. So I'm a big.
We're a laid-back office.
We do this, and they'll have like a. I go there because those things are also kind of silently a required thing to go to sometimes. So I'm a big fan of. I've gone to these events and almost a timer going off on my phone, like 30 minutes, and I was like, "Up, got to go feed the fish or whatever," and then
Feed the fish.
Got to go feed the fish, and then I go and leave. But no, I absolutely. I don't know. I've gone to like actually in restaurants. It seems like everyone there are genuinely closer friends than they are with their own family.
Right.
I've noticed. But if you're in an office, it's very much like I hope I never learn your middle name or anything about you, and that we stay.
It depends on your work environment. I've had an office job before, and I also now work at a comedy club. So it's like both food service and people who have the same interest as me. So sometimes, yeah, like you are in a position where you do enjoy talking to your coworkers. I feel like most people tolerate it. I don't know if most people enjoy it, like whatever job you're at, but most people can get through it without having to ask Turnip and Stone how to get through the day. And can you leave this job? Is it that intolerable? Are you a curmudgeon, or are these people the most boring sadist? Like what's going on in your life that you can't even talk to a human being?
I do agree that people have. We've made it like we've all agreed. Like, yeah, small talk sucks to the point where people's like tolerance, like people think that they're doing a good thing by being so immediately against it, as being like, yeah, this sucks. I'm not even going to engage with it. One of the funniest things that I saw was someone being like, you see a lot of posts where like, I don't want to talk about your job. I want to talk about the universe and what's going to happen when things end. It's like, you for real? From floors 3 to 11. You want to crack into the Big Bang with a random person. Like small talks is a good, like, so like just like a social fluid thing of like, how are you doing? And I can't imagine the person that's just immediately going in there and just being like, do you believe that the Bible has some truth that we should understand beyond its context? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it should only be small talk, maybe.
Yeah, it might. We might need to, we might need to resort to more small talk. We say at an hour and 15 minutes into this podcast.
Actually, that could be the advice. Would be take it too far.
Yeah.
And then you'll start putting up the barriers.
Yeah, you got to outdo.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just in an elevator and the guy's like, crazy, we got this smoke out. And you're like, yeah. Me and the wife think about adding a third. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can just throw up the wall or whatever.
Yeah. Or you can do the reverse.
I killed someone.
You can out small talk them. So when they're like, things have been tough ever since my kid's going to college. I'm an empty nester, and you just immediately just dead face and be like, "Have you seen Young Sheldon?" Yeah. Just absolutely never engage.
Always
on anything
back
deeper.
to Young Sheldon.
Always
Yeah.
back to hit him with the Sheldon.
Yeah.
You might have to just always do exactly. You might have to yin yang. Always
If you
get the
become
opposite energy.
Yeah, a very publicly Young Sheldon fan. That's like the office worker environment of having like porcupine quills. People aren't going to want to engage with you if they think you're going to talk about the B arc of Young Sheldon.
The second
Just standing
part,
up, be like, guys, I'm heading to lunch. If anyone wants to go over the season 2 of New Girl, I'm gonna be down at the Chick-fil-A.
If there's someone's just like they're in another cubicle, like we gotta ask him. We'll see if he wants to go over there and just being like, hey Mark, you want to maybe go out to the bar with us? Bazinga! I'd love to. Like never. You know what? Actually, the bar's getting closed for renovations. We're not gonna want to go. It's the perfect move.
Yeah, it's the perfect move.
It's the perfect plan.
the second half of the question is, I guess generally,
The second half is the young Sheldon thing's not working. They've already tried it.
can I try old Sheldon? It's how do you not seem completely disinterested when being approached by a coworker? So I guess it's just like how to get through a boring conversation. I think like what you can do is you can like half listen to something. You know, like dolphins turn half their brain off when they sleep.
Yeah.
And just keep asking basic questions, but not listening.
Yeah.
Because most people will
Yeah.
not notice that you're not engaging with them at all.
I'm hitting Ubers with just
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, what was that like?
I've
Yeah.
through whole political treaties in Ubers just because, just as someone just ranting on, like, we need to get Gerald Ford back in there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, sure.
Just marking an Uber, and he's like, the Uber driver being like, I had a Russian girl in here the other day. She was trying to get out in the hurry. she was taking me to
I was
Midway.
like, can you open up your past rides and tell me where you took her? Please. Just toss her a 40.
Mark missed it because he's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
checking his phone, scrolling Instagram. He's
Yep.
like, she had me going to Midway. Then all of a sudden, she got a frantic phone call. I had to turn it around and go to O'Hare. Apparently, they were on to her.
Yeah, something was happening. Yep. She said she really wants someone to give her lilies. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I say you just gotta your way out. And eventually,
Yeah.
here's the thing too: you hit somebody with enough yeahs, they start to get the picture,
Yeah.
and they'll back off.
Yeah, how do you...
Although, don't do what I've done. Sometimes you everybody in your life for years.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, nobody wants to talk.
That's all no.
You got to tune
Yeah.
in.
You got to tune in. You got to, and also make the conversation interesting to you. Be like, so what was it like when your father died? You know,
Yeah.
just get out of the small talk. Just really get
Go
into,
deep.
Like, do you have an adult daughter? Is that confusing? I don't know, something like that.
That would be good. That'd be the ultimate icebreaker. That'd be the
Do you have an
Titanic
adult
hitting the
daughter
iceberg right
who
there.
likes young Sheldon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's also like that person that's coming up to you and being like, hey, did you know, like, the Cubs are on a streak? They also probably deep in the marrow of their bones are not very much interested in your answer to that. It's just all sort of like I just, we inhabit a space together and I want to be nice. So maybe not making yourself the martyr of the situation and just also being like, yeah, it's crazy. I hope that they, get a little bit better. Would work. Now, I've never done this in actual practice. I immediately go into the single occupancy bathroom until they leave. But
Yeah,
but
but
I
just
g-
for this guy to know.
for this person to know, not do as I don't actually do what I do.
It might be a guy who tried to tell his wife the Cubs are on a streak, and she was like, "You fucking hate it that I'm happy, don't you? You fucking hate." And then he tries to tell his son, and his son's like, "Fuck you, Dad. I like the Sox. You know that." And he goes, "Oh, fuck." And then he gets to the office. He's like,
You're not
Two
my,
strikes.
You're not my real dad. You gave our cat away when I was young. He's like, I gotta find someone that's caring that we finally got a pitcher that can hold down the bullpen.
"Yeah, fake it to me."
Is there any? I feel like the audience has not been engaged enough during this. And I don't know what the protocols is. I've not seen the charter for Turnip and Stone about how
No,
much
there's no.
audience-
You guys got any small talk thoughts?
So I think that we spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our family. So it's worth it to try to find something we like about our coworkers and try to make conversation. I find that usually that makes work flow better.
Yeah.
That being said, I think you need to know who you're dealing with, and not everyone is like a safe person to open up to. But I find that being interested benefits work. And since you're already there, why not make the best of it?
Here's what my game plan is, and I did this today, and because I have to do it through Slack, is that if you make yourself friends to these people, it's going to be a human that they're firing. And that's what I literally do, is that I always try to be like, I find something personal and I tell them a fact about my life. And it's just like, I try to scrub off that facade of like, I'm just a number that you're going to delete when things don't add. You're taking away my ability to buy new guitar equipment or whatever if you fire me.
Mark,
So-
can you come talk to me in my office? I'm lonely.
I'm lonely.
Fundamentally.
We just need to have a private conversation. I'm sorry. They've just been so rough since they canceled Young Sheldon.
Yeah. That is a good tactical move. Whenever you're making office small talk, harp on the negatives.
Yes.
Make your life sound difficult. That way they can't axe you without
Yes,
feeling guilty.
drop breadcrumbs that you're teetering on the edge of a dark abyss.
My roommate has been playing banjo. He won't use the electric banjo, and he's learning pirate metal on it.
Steve, you got anything, and then we'll wrap it?
I would say if you want to talk to your coworkers. If you don't, then don't.
Home run from Steve Raines,
I mean,
everybody. Give it
And
up for
then
him.
an electric race to the
They don't
finish
call
line
it
by
work
Steve
for a
Raines.
reason, God damn it. We're not getting paid to socialize.
Steve, it depends, Raines.
This podcast really could be the length of a TikTok if you were just to be like, I'm having a thing of my wife wants to go to this thing, but I want to go to this thing. You guys should talk it and have an open conversation and dialogue about it.
I think
like
the first-
smash that like and subscribe.
We could cut 4 of the people out of this and just have somebody dancing and it points to like yes or no.
I think the first part of the question, yes, people do enjoy socializing at work. And I think people that are like, I halfway like what I do, love socializing at work because it makes it all the better,
Yeah.
obviously. And what was it? Any tips to enjoy it?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Bring a little of your own flavor.
Yeah.
Try a hobby. You got to bring something to the table, make a quiche
Crochet while you're talking to
over
them.
the weekend. Yeah. And then you can bring that to the office.
Frantically
Just kiss
masturbate
your
while you're
coworkers.
talking. We had the same.
Lean in and kiss when there's silence.
A gentle hand on the back of the head really lets them know that you're listening.
Slide your hand slowly from the top of their back down to the bottom.
And do a little quid pro quo. Say, I'll promote you for the right price, my girl.
That was- All right.
and
Unless
then
you
you
guys
say winky face.
yeah, winky face.
Daphne.
That's not my cell phone in my pocket. Now back to work.
All right. You guys anything from the crowd? All right.
We got one.
We got one.
Got one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If a man texts me that something I did scared him and not to contact him again, is it disrespectful that I've texted him twice, and why didn't he block me?
Why? Wait, he
Slowly
didn't block you?
backing away from the audience member.
The next podcast is just recorded in full beekeeper's outfit.
Did you offer him another night at your Airbnb for the right price? Yeah. We're going to get some context going in now.
The context is really messy. Basically, I have borderline personality disorder, and he ignored me for like 30 minutes, and then I did something really crazy, and then that's what scared him, yeah. I really shouldn't give any.
I mean, I get it. I got ignored by a Russian girl for 30 minutes and downloaded Duolingo just to see if I could need to talk to her in her language.
I got ignored by a Russian girl. It was 25 minutes. I'm taking Donbass.
It's a perfect book ending. We started with Mark's double texting. We got a little double texting here.
I would
Yeah.
say.
I'd say put the brakes on.
Yeah.
I'd say put the brakes on,
I would say if it's somebody that you're really close, like you can always say like, this is like socio-emotional issue that I'm working on, and if I'll try and get past. But I've been in, I wouldn't say similar situations, but I think sometimes you just have to take the L. Like I've definitely been in like volatile short-term relationships. I think it's something that it's not. They think it's something and then it ends in a screaming match or a fight, or somebody's throwing your clothes out of a window, like in the mood, whatever. And sometimes you just have to be like, I fucked that one up. That's great. You know what I mean? It's like total in a car. You're like, I was connected to the Prius I had as a kid, but I hit a tree. It's going to be $7,500 to fix it. I'm going to get this one towed.
I actually had parallel. I had a mental health issue this weekend, and then I accused someone trying to take care of me of trying to fix me. And so I sort of lashed out. And I think I'm trying to be sympathetic, but also explain it to that person if I'm allowed to.
Was that the person that you were
was the
talking about?
person.
The
Yeah.
other one?
So I don't know. Be sympathetic with yourself about, if you're worried about that, but also,
Yeah, I think understanding that all you can do is learn from it and move on. You know what I mean?
No, but also if you do something crazy and then don't text him back, he's gonna be like, "Damn,
Interesting.
it's gonna be interesting. Like, what's happening here?" And then you do something even crazier, and then you tell us how that goes, and we have more podcast material.
Yeah.
We do.
God damn it, Mark. You left a 66% open. We almost gave one solid answer to one question. And then Mark goes, in Indiana, they don't card for guns.
The thing is,
Now
If
back
you mix
into the
fertilizer
Back
and
to the
right
Cary,
amount
North Carolina Wikipedia page to wrap up.
yes, they've made burning someone else's property a misdemeanor in Cook County. Something you should know. It's something that we should. Whoop. See. Oh, you're gonna have to give her
It's
a
all
mic.
good.
probably.
We're wrapping it up. We'll close it on this.
Anything you can, if you want, text him and tell him where you were at the time. And if he texts you back, great. If not, don't abandon yourself. Like, if he's meant to be, and, you want to do like
This portion of the audio is redacted because it's coming from an actual therapist, everyone. Don't you wish you were here to hear the advice, but you weren't.
Yeah.
You weren't, listeners at home.
Yeah. That was actually good advice.
That was very sweet.
All right, we'll wrap it on that. You guys ready?
Wrapping
All
on a
set?
big secret.
There we go.
Adios.
Hey, thank you everybody who made it to the end. 66% of the audience made it to the end.
66%.
That's 2/3, baby.
All right. Hey, we'll see. I think we're doing every last Tuesdays. Kind of the plan. Perfect. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.
Come to the Avondale Coffee House.
Ooh, that is nice. That looks really good.
Thank you for coming.
I might be up for a long time. This is this coffee. I mean, I was sipping through it. And